Guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to wear full coverage foundation without looking cakey. So in the last year or so, a lot of companies have come out with medium to full coverage foundations. Perhaps it's the influence of Instagram and Snapchat, where everybody wants to look picture perfect at all times, look really, really flawless. So a lot of new products have come out on the market, and maybe you've tried some unsuccessfully. Maybe you have tried the new Jouer Essential High Coverage that I've been singing the praises of for the last month, or maybe it's Kat Von D's Locket or Huda Beauty Pro Filter, any of the new fuller coverage makeup. And you've put it on and you looked in the mirror and you said, I look cakey, it looks thick, I'm not comfortable with this. And it could be just that you're just not comfortable with that level of coverage. And that's okay. I've been wearing Estee Lauder Double Wear and the like for the last 20 years or so. And throughout the years, thankfully, the new formulations have always gotten better and better to look more natural, to feel more comfortable on the skin, to have more skin healthy ingredients. So what I'm hoping this video is going to do for you today is that it's going to maybe get you to reach for that full coverage foundation that you might have put in the back of the drawer that you just felt you didn't look right, looked cakey, or cake face as it's called, and maybe you'll bring it back out again and you'll make some adjustments. Maybe it's in the prep, or maybe it's in what you're putting or how you're applying it. So in this video, I'm hoping to share with you my secrets to making a full coverage foundation look more natural. I'm also going to show you in this video briefly how to properly use a beauty blender or a beauty sponge. It doesn't have to be the exact name brand beauty blender. There's so many versions of it out these days. So there is going to be a minute or so where I show you exactly how to use the makeup sponge. So I'm sure most of you are using it correctly, but I thought it couldn't hurt to throw that into this video. So without further ado, let's get started.
As you can see, I am taking a makeup wipe and showing you that my skin is perfectly clean at this point. I'm starting with no makeup on. And then I'm beginning with my Tarte Drink of H2O Lightweight Gel Moisturizer. Even if you have dry skin, you want to save your heavier creams for nighttime. Try to use something lighter during the day that won't mess with your makeup. Now, I like to wait at least 2 minutes before applying foundation to allow my moisturizer to really sink into my skin. Now, moving on to how to use the Beauty Blender. I run mine under the water and get it really nice and wet, and then squeeze it. Squeeze out all the excess water. I'm going to be doing this 3 times. So here's the second time. Get it really, really wet, squeeze, and then do it one more time. And as you're running the water over the Beauty Blender, it should be getting bigger and bigger. It should actually double in size. It's hard to tell here, but it's doubled. Now I take a hand towel or whatever towel I have nearby and just squeeze out all the excess until it's barely damp. And now it is ready to go. So I am going to be using that Jouer Essential High Coverage, and I'm not going to be using concealer. Because sometimes if you're using, well, most of the time when you're using a full coverage foundation, you don't need concealer. And that's what can really lead to making the foundation look cakey. Now you saw how little I put on there, and I am bouncing the Beauty Blender off my face. Really, this is called stippling. So in other words, it's just bouncing. And as you can see, I'm using the side of the Beauty Blender here. And I'm just bouncing, 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 and that one little pump that I used is covering my entire face. So basically what I'm trying to say is you want to work in thin layers depending on the foundation. A really, really high coverage like this, you are really probably only going to use or need one layer. But with some of the others, you might have to go over it twice. But you want to start with a very little amount and work your way up, because that's how foundation can get cakey. You see a lot of these YouTubers using way too much foundation and concealer, so that's really what lends itself to a cakey look. So I'm continuing to bounce and blend and bounce and blend. Now, if you feel like you don't have enough coverage, say in this area you have maybe some marks from acne or just any other dark spots, discoloration, go over with another layer of foundation using the tip of the Beauty Blender. So if it's blemishes you're trying to cover, you are just going to dot over the blemish and then pat them into the skin. A lot of times if you're using a concealer, that is going to make the foundation look heavier. And now I'm showing you how, if you need more coverage through the T-zone, you're going to just add it through there. Now concealers, because they're a different consistency than your foundation, can have a tendency to look cakey over foundation. They can also look cakey when worn under foundation. So I recommend just doing another layer of the full coverage foundation in those areas on the face that need the extra coverage. I only use concealer for my under eyes, and even on my clients, unless they have a lot of acne scars and redness, where I'll use some sort of a green liquid concealer in those areas and then go over with foundation. Other than those people, I recommend just using concealer under the eyes. And as I said, just adding extra foundation in the areas that need more concealing. And now once I'm done blending out the concealer with a sponge, I'm going to be using my fingers for further blending, because the heat from my fingers is really going to work that concealer into the foundation, making it look really seamless and natural, and making sure that none of that concealer settles into fine lines under my eyes. Now, a big mistake a lot of people make that can lead to a cakey look is that they use too heavy of a powder to set their makeup. You don't want to use a foundation powder over a full coverage foundation. You want to stick to using a traditional loose setting powder. And because I'm oily all over, I just take a small amount and then swipe it all over my face, just gently buffing it in. A foundation powder on top of a full coverage foundation is a recipe for disaster. Now, the final step to a flawless, non-cakey look is using a spray like this one from Caudalie or MAC Fix Plus. Not a setting spray, but one that helps just to give the skin a more natural look. And I wanted to include some iPhone footage so you can see how it looks close up.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this video at least a little bit helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for content like this at least twice a week. You can also follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. All of that is under the username Risa Does Makeup. And I will see you guys in my next video.